Chosen one. Listen with your whole heart. Your presence here is not the result of chance. You were not randomly led to this message. Long before this moment arrived, heaven had already ordered your steps. God interrupted your routine for a reason, drawing your attention to these words because you are standing at the threshold of a supernatural season of increase and divine provision. You are about to enter the inheritance that heaven prepared for you before you ever took your first breath. Chosen one. Your life was designed to establish a new legacy for your family. The anointing upon you is too valuable, and the vision placed within your spirit is too significant to remain hidden any longer. Though the enemy tried to silence your purpose, he could never erase the divine assignment woven into the very foundation of who you are. That assignment carries kingdom prosperity, generational blessing, and God-given authority. As Proverbs 13:22 declares, "The wealth of the wicked is stored up for the righteous." The season of release has begun. Anointed one, lift your eyes with expectation. The waiting has reached its conclusion. The dry season is ending. You are stepping into your Kairos moment, the appointed time heaven has prepared specifically for you. These are not merely encouraging words. They are an invitation to awaken your faith and activate what God has already spoken over your life. Receive this truth with confidence. Chosen one. Your spirit recognized this moment before your mind could explain it. Nothing about today is accidental. Heaven carefully arranged this encounter, and the next chapter of your journey is beginning to unfold before your eyes. You are standing at the doorway of a supernatural transfer that will break generations of limitation and open a future filled with God's abundance. The story of your family is about to change because heaven is writing a new beginning. For so long, you have carried unanswered questions in silence. Why were your dreams so often misunderstood? Why did the path God placed before you feel lonely? Why did the vision burning within your heart seem impossible for others to understand? The answer has always been the same. You were never created to fit comfortably into ordinary expectations. God planted a purpose inside you that required preparation, endurance, and unwavering faith. What others viewed as unusual was often the evidence that heaven was shaping you for an extraordinary assignment. Now the season of hidden preparation is giving way to the season of visible fulfillment. And what God has promised is beginning to take shape before your very eyes. They called you arrogant when you were simply focused. They called you unrealistic when you were actually prophetic. They mistook your silence for weakness when it was the holy ground where God was preserving you. What they could not see was the divine code hidden in your spirit, a billionaire frequency written into your DNA before you ever drew breath. Chosen one. This frequency is not ordinary. It is royal. It is rare. It is disruptive to every limitation that ever stalked your bloodline. And that is why you have felt the pressure so intensely. You weren't just carrying your own dreams. You were carrying the unfulfilled hopes of generations before you. You inherited their weight. But you were never designed to be crushed by it. You were designed to override it, to stand as the void clause, the one who cancels old contracts of poverty, fear, and resignation. I know the heaviness you have felt because I have walked through it. 2. Nights where silence felt like punishment, seasons where doors kept slamming, and it looked like everyone else was advancing but me. What I couldn't see then was that the silence was sacred insulation. God was protecting what He planted in me from being contaminated by the systems of fear and scarcity. And chosen one. The same has been true for you. You were not overlooked. You were preserved. You were not abandoned. You were hidden until the appointed time, and now that time has come, the vault of your spirit is full, and heaven is authorizing its release. What compounded in your isolation is about to manifest in your reality. Every rejection, every delay, every lonely night was a deposit gaining interest. And now the payout is here. This is the moment where silence becomes signal, where isolation transforms into elevation. The same people who once dismissed you will not recognize you because your frequency has shifted. Your crown is visible, and your inheritance is undeniable. Chosen one. Understand this. You are not here simply to make money. You are here to embody abundance itself, to become the gravitational force that draws resources, opportunities, and divine partnerships into orbit. You were not designed to play a role in someone else's empire. You were anointed to establish your own. You were not sent to beg for a seat at the table. You were born to build the table. You were never called to chase 1 billion. You were destined to become the vibration of it. This is your summons. Anointed one. Not just to dream bigger, but to remember louder, to rise and claim the truth, that scarcity was never your origin and lack was never your inheritance. The maps of fear you were handed are burning. The cage is breaking. The crown is waiting. And your bloodline will never be the same again. Chosen one. Let me speak this clearly. You were not born to inherit fear. You were not sent here to carry recycled instructions on how to survive. You were chosen to disrupt patterns, to break scaffolding built on scarcity, and to plant a foundation strong enough to hold abundance. Your family, your parents, even those who loved you deeply, they passed down what they knew. But what they knew was survival, not sovereignty. They rationed hope as if it were a luxury. They taught you to settle, not because they were weak, but because they had been convinced that survival was the highest honor. They thought they were protecting you. But what they handed you was a cage disguised as wisdom. Yet, something inside you resisted. From your earliest memories, you felt it. A glitch in the program, a hum beneath the surface, a tension in your bones, while others accepted, this is just how life is. Something deep in you whispered, no, there is more. That wasn't arrogance. That was recognition. Recognition that the scarcity they called normal was never your origin. Recognition that what they labeled safe was, in fact, slavery to a broken system. Chosen one. That uneasiness you carried was heaven's whisper. That restless pull you felt between who you were and who you're becoming. It is not anxiety, it is ignition. The blueprint inside you is going live. The seed has cracked. The roots are pushing through. The soil of your subconscious can no longer contain what God planted in you. Here's what no one dared to tell you. The world does not reward those who follow the rules. The world bends to those who write them. And you, anointed one, were never meant to join an empire. You were born to found one. I understand the weight you've carried because I carried it. 2. I know what it feels like to sit in rooms where your silence is mocked, your vision dismissed, and your fire labeled too much. I know the sting of watching others rise while your doors stayed shut. But I also know this. Those seasons were not punishment. They were preservation. Heaven would not allow your blueprint to be corrupted by counterfeit connections. That loneliness you felt, that was insulation. That rejection you endured, that was redirection. Chosen one. Do you see it now? The quarantine is ending. The vault of your spirit is full. What once looked like abandonment is now revealed as divine preparation. The season of hiding is closing, and the era of unveiling is here. You are stepping into the moment where isolation becomes elevation, where silence becomes a trumpet, where the same people who dismissed you will now marvel at how magnetic, intouchable, and undeniable you have become. But hear me well. This next chapter demands fire. You cannot shrink back into the old map. You cannot rehearse their language of fear. You must burn the phrases that bound generations before you. Be realistic. Don't get your hopes up. We're just not those kind of people. Those were never compasses. They were cages, and it is your sacred duty. Set them on fire. Chosen one. I understand this. You are not rebelling against your family. You are redeeming them. You are drawing a new map, etched in light, written in frequency, powered by faith. And this map will not only guide you, it will liberate every name connected to your line. Chosen one. Do you know why the pressure has been so heavy on your shoulders? It is because you are carrying something ancient, something far greater than yourself. You've been walking through life with the unspoken weight of centuries pressing against your spirit. What you feel has never just been about you. You have been chosen as the one who says, enough. The one who breaks the cycle. The one who refuses to let generational chains continue into the future. Every sigh of exhaustion, every restless night, every hidden tear. It was not weakness. It was your system bearing the strain of agreements you never signed but were born into. Invisible contracts of poverty, fear, and resignation were stamped on your lineage long before you arrived. But chosen one, you are the void clause. You are the signature of heaven that cancels the old script. You are the legal breaker of generational debt, spiritual and financial alike. I know what it feels like to inherit burdens that aren't yours. I have walked through the phantom pain of other people's fears, regret, and disappointments. I have felt the pressure of being called lazy when, in truth, I was only resisting limitation. I have heard the whispers of be humble when what they really meant was don't aim too high. And I know you've heard them, too. But what looked like humility was really resignation. And what looked like wisdom was just fear with makeup on. You've carried these echoes, but heaven declares they end with you. Chosen one. Your life has been intense because the weight you carried was never punishment. It was compression. The kind of compression that turns coal into diamonds. The kind of pressure required to birth cancellation. When you finally say no more, your voice doesn't just echo forward. It ripples backward. It liberates those who came before you and redeems those who come after. When you choose to launch instead of settle, every ancestor who swallowed their voice is vindicated. When you command wealth with intention, it is not greed. It is justice. It is divine payback for every moment of lack your lineage endured. Yes, it cost something. It will cost you attachments. It will cost you illusions. It will cost you the false comfort of blending in. But you are not here to blend. You are here to transmute. You are not here to carry their pain. You are here to redeem it. You are not here to mourn what was lost. You are here to build what was never seen. Chosen one. This is alchemy. This is spiritual law in motion. You are the executor of a divine legal order, and heaven has authorized your rise. The grief you feel at times, the ache that your family never saw what you now see, that grief is sacred, but do not confuse loyalty with limitation. Their ceiling is your floor. Their survival is your foundation. And from that place you will build futures they could never imagine. Hear this clearly. Your family's freedom will not come because you played by their rules. It will come because you broke them. You are not a cycle. You are the exit. You are not the shame. You are the salvation. And this is the moment heaven confirms it. Chosen one. Let us speak the truth. No one dared to tell you when you were sitting alone on those Friday nights wondering what you did wrong. You weren't forgotten. You weren't overlooked. You weren't rejected. You were being funded. Every empty birthday. Every unanswered phone call. Every friend who faded away. Every room where your presence felt too different to be embraced. Those weren't punishments. They were deposits. You see, heaven's economy doesn't look like man's economy. What feels like subtraction is actually compounding interest. While the world measures wealth in applause, validation, and possessions, you were being enriched with something no one could see. Spiritual capital. You were banking in silence while others were leaking themselves through gossip, distractions, and shallow pursuits. You weren't being drained. You were being fortified. I know what it feels like to be unplugged, to watch others chase status, collect likes, and run after approval, while you sit in stillness feeling like you've been left behind. But hear me, chosen one. That stillness was your sanctuary. That isolation was your investment. Every time you chose clarity over clout, every time you walked away from dysfunction instead of proving your worth inside of it, every time you sat with your thoughts instead of escaping into noise, you were accumulating interest. You were building a vault that heaven itself has filled. And now the vault is full. This is why doors are opening without you knocking. This is why people are drawn to your presence without you saying a word. This is why resources are aligning with ideas you haven't even spoken aloud. Because your energy has shifted. Your field is now readable to the algorithm of abundance. The silence you endured has converted into magnetism. Chosen one. Hear this. Your isolation was never subtraction. It was multiplication. What looked like nothing happening was everything happening. What looked like delay was divine preparation. And now that compound interest is hitting your account, spiritually and materially. Ideas will arrive like downloads. Partnerships will appear from nowhere. Needs will be met almost before you can articulate them. This isn't magic. It's alignment. But here's the warning. Do not let them back in just because you are rising. Do not discount your energy just because they finally noticed. The same voices that mocked you in your stillness will try to attach themselves to your glow. The same ones who laughed at your seed will want to harvest your fruit. But your frequency is too valuable to be discounted. Your path is too sacred to be negotiated. Chosen one. This is the truth. You did not get left behind. You were being prepared to lead. And now the preparation is over. The season of building in silence is shifting into a season of demonstration. What you stored in secret will now be revealed in public. What was invisible is about to become undeniable. So do not apologize for your rise. Do not shrink to make them comfortable. You were preserved to be presented. And heaven has chosen now as the unveiling. Chosen one. Listen carefully. Reality is not fixed. It is not neutral. It is not a cold, unmoving wall. Reality is a mirror. And that mirror has only one assignment: to reflect you. Every setback you endured, Every financial wall that rose up against you, every slammed door that made you question your worth. It was never a verdict. It was simply a reflection of an old program you had inherited. Those scripts were not yours. They belonged to generations before you. Scarcity passed down like family heirlooms. Fear disguised as wisdom. Resignation dressed up as humility. They whispered, "We can't afford that. Don't get your hopes up. Be realistic." And without realizing it, those voices wrote the code of your mirror. You weren't broken. Chosen one. You were simply seeing life through lenses handed to you by the wounded, but the lenses are coming off. The blueprint inside you has activated, and when the inner world changes, the reflection must obey. This is the sacred law of creation. It cannot show you anything beyond the image you hold inside. And now you are holding something new, something sovereign, something unstoppable. Chosen one. This means you can no longer afford casual doubt. You cannot sit in circles that rehearse struggle and expect your mirror to reflect wealth. You cannot joke about failure and then wonder why the reflection resists abundance. Every thought, every word, every posture of your heart is now a paintbrush. You are painting your future in real time. This is where everything shifts from victim to creator, from responder to initiator. The system taught you to wait for proof before you believe, but heaven's law says, believe first, and the mirror will bend. When you feel fear, whisper. Check your bank account and panic. Pause. Don't check the number. Check your frequency. When you're tempted to lower your price, don't. Raise your worth internally first, and watch how the reflection adjusts. When you think you've hit a wall, remember it isn't concrete. It's soft clay waiting to be molded by your expectation. I know how strange this feels. I've lived it. I remember waking up with the same worries, rehearsing the same lack, thinking reality was against me. But when I shifted, when I stopped fighting the mirror and started changing the image, everything around me obeyed. Deals appeared. Doors opened. Provision arrived. And it will for you. 2. Chosen one. You'll begin noticing glitches, repeating numbers, divine synchronicities, chance, encounters. These aren't coincidences. They are signals, signs that your mirror is recalibrating to match your upgraded operating system. Even before the money hits your account, you'll feel the shift. Peace where there used to be panic. Clarity where there used to be confusion. Bold decisions where there used to be hesitation. That's your authority rising. Chosen one, the world has told you to chase. Tool grinned. To sacrifice yourself for scraps. But that was their system, not yours. You were never designed to chase the billion. You were designed to become the billion. Wealth isn't a destination. It is a vibration, and as you align with it, the reflection must follow. This isn't magic. This is divine physics. This is gravity itself, bending to your frequency. Chosen one. Hold the image. Guard it with reverence. Because once the inner world is sovereign, the outer world has no choice but to bow. Chosen one. This is the season where your presence becomes gravity. You don't need to chase opportunities anymore. They are drawn to you. You don't need to beg for resources. They will begin to orbit your life because your frequency demands it. This is the law of heaven. Wealth is not secured through exhaustion, but embodied through alignment. For generations, You were told the opposite. They said money comes only through sweat, sacrifice, and endless striving. You were taught to climb ladders built by other people, to shrink yourself to fit systems designed to keep you small. But anointed one, hear me. You were never called to climb. You were called to ascend. You were destined to rise beyond ceilings that others swore could never be broken. Look closely at your life, and you'll notice the shift already. There is a calm in you when you no longer need to explain yourself. There is a strength in your voice that bends atmospheres when you speak truth. There is a pause in people's eyes the moment you enter a room before you even say a word. These moments are not random events. They are heaven's confirmations that your life is moving into divine alignment. Your spirit is being lifted to a higher place. And because of that, deception can no longer remain where truth has taken root. This is why certain people have quietly disappeared from your journey. They did not walk away because you failed. They stepped away because you changed. The growth within you no longer fit the limits of their comfort. Your light exposed what they were unwilling to confront within themselves. Even if their departure brought pain, release them with peace. They were only a small part of your journey, while your calling was always destined to extend far beyond what they could understand. Not everyone is meant to travel with you into the season God has prepared. I understand this path because it is one many chosen people must walk. I know what it feels like to watch familiar relationships fade and to grieve connections that once seemed unbreakable. Yet time revealed a powerful truth. Their departure was never evidence of your loss. It was confirmation that your life was being repositioned for your purpose. Their exit marked the beginning of your alignment with the destiny heaven had already written for you. Chosen one. Do not dwell on those who could not continue the journey with you. Celebrate the person God is shaping you to become. Very soon, you will encounter an opportunity so extraordinary that it will stretch every part of your faith. It may appear larger than anything you have ever imagined possible. And the voice of your former self will immediately begin to question whether you are capable. Reason may insist that the opportunity is impossible. Fear may whisper that you are not prepared. But the purpose God placed within you before you were born will remain unshaken. The divine assignment written into your life will awaken with confidence deep within your spirit. You will recognize the truth. This is exactly what God has been preparing you for all along. When that defining moment arrives, refuse to let fear make your decision. Do not allow doubt to negotiate away your future. Resist the temptation to shrink back simply because the opportunity seems too great. Instead, answer with faith. Take the step God is calling you to take. And watch as heaven begins to align circumstances, open unexpected doors, and move people, opportunities, and favor into place to support the path you were always meant to walk. Chosen one. Understand this. From this point forward, everything that comes into your life will not arrive because you chased it. It will arrive because you became the center of a new orbit. You are not just carrying potential, you are the field of infinite potential. The billion is not running from you. It is circling. It is landing. And it is coming home to the one vessel strong enough to hold it. You. Feel it even now. The pressure in your chest. The stirring in your spirit. That is not fear. That is ignition. That is heaven, confirming that you are no longer seeking wealth. You are embodying it. And as you embody it, every locked door must open. Every withheld resource must flow. Every generational curse must bow. Chosen one. You are not becoming wealthy. You are wealth revealed. Chosen one. Before you step fully into this inheritance, heaven will test your discernment. Every great transfer requires refinement, and this refinement often comes disguised as familiar faces, tempting offers, and echoes of who you used to be. You must understand this. The enemy cannot stop your rise, but he will try to distract you on the way. The first gatekeeper will come as charm. Someone will appear with a smile, speaking words that sound almost like your vision, presenting shortcuts that promise quicker results. They will flatter you, mirror your language, and offer platforms that appear to align with your mission, but hidden in their offer is a trade. Your purity for their control, your authority for their approval. Chosen one. When this comes, resist. Do not apologize. Do not negotiate. Your blueprint does not need shortcuts. Your anointing is too valuable to sell at a discount. This is a test of ownership. Will you trust divine timing enough to walk alone? The second gatekeeper will come through blood, family, not enemies. Will try to pull you back into old roles. A crisis may arise, and suddenly voices will accuse. You've changed. You forgot where you came from. They will demand the version of you that shrank to carry burdens that were never yours. And the temptation will be strong because guilt is a language you were raised on, but anointed one. You cannot carry both legacy and liability. You are not abandoning them by holding your boundary. You are modeling a new standard. This is a test of emotional immunity. Can you love them without surrendering your calling? The final gatekeeper is the most dangerous. It is your old self. That whisper in the dark telling you you're too much, too ambitious, too different. It will ask you to shrink just a little so you can be accepted, to settle just a little so you can feel safe. This voice sounds like wisdom, but it is actually regression. It is the ghost of a version of you that died trying to fit in. Chosen one. You cannot resurrect what heaven buried. This is a test of remembrance. Will you remember who you are when the old you begs for resurrection? I know these tests because I have walked through them. I've seen the smiling faces that turned into snares, the family dynamics that demanded I stay small, the inner critic that rose at the edge of breakthrough, and I have also seen the victory that comes when you refuse to bow. Chosen one. Every time you say no to these gatekeepers, you are saying yes to sovereignty. Every time you resist the urge to regress, you unlock a higher frequency of authority. Hear me clearly. Once you pass through these gates, everything shifts. You will no longer wait for doors to open. They will wait for you to arrive. You will no longer apply for access. You will be the access. You will no longer be a servant to fear. You will legislate destiny. Chosen one. The tests are not there to break you. They are there to confirm you. They prove to heaven and earth that you are no longer the seeker. You are the architect. No longer the beggar. You are the bank. No longer waiting. You are walking in authority. And when you emerge from these gates unshaken, the system itself will know you cannot be stopped, delayed, or denied. You are ready. Chosen one. This is the moment when everything shifts. You are no longer the one asking for access. You are no longer waiting for approval. You are no longer trying to squeeze into systems that were never built to hold you. From this point forward, you become the system. You become the vault. You become the bank. Let that sink in. You are not here to beg for blessings. You are here to release them. You are not here to ask for resources. You are here to fund movements, sponsor awakenings, and finance legacies that will echo for generations. This is what it means to be the first billionaire in your family. It is not about hoarding money. It is about embodying wealth so completely that it overflows into every life connected to your name. Chosen one. The pipeline has already been built. The vault has already been filled. You are not waiting for heaven to decide. It has already been decided. The question is not if you will rise, but when you will agree with it. And heaven is declaring that time is now. This will require a shift in your identity. You must stop thinking like a seeker and start living like a source. You must stop speaking like someone who needs permission and start decreeing like someone who carries authority. When you step into a room, opportunities should not feel like they are interviewing you. You are interviewing them. Not every opportunity deserves your energy. Not every invitation deserves your yes. You are no longer trying to prove yourself worthy of the table. You are deciding who is worthy of sitting at yours. I know this requires courage, because I too once thought I had to cling to every chance, chase every connection, and fight for scraps of recognition. But when I finally remembered who I was, everything flipped. I stopped running after deals and watched deals run after me. I stopped worrying about who would support me and began asking who deserved the privilege of alignment. And you, chosen one, are entering that same shift. Understand this. The crown does not shimmer because of gold. It shimmers because of frequency. The throne is not about image. It is about alignment. You sit on it not for applause, but for authority. You wear it not for vanity, but for vision. When you decree, doors open. When you align, nations shift. When you invest, legacies are born. Chosen one, this is not just about you. Your ancestors prayed for this moment, even if they never lived to see it. Their tears watered the ground you now stand on. Their sacrifices became the soil for your rise. You are not only inheriting, you are initiating. You are starting a dynasty not built on privilege, but on prophecy, not on survival, but on sovereignty. So, breathe it in. Stentel. This is your coronation. You are not the runner-up. You are not a mistake. You are not the lucky one. You are the one who remembered. And because you remembered, your family will be redeemed. Your lineage will be liberated. And your name will echo through eternity. Chosen one, settle your heart and receive what heaven is releasing. The storehouse has been opened. The King is reigning. And the future you have been praying for is no longer somewhere ahead of you. It has already begun to unfold. This moment is not centered on tomorrow. It starts with you, right here and right now. Chosen one, be still for a moment and let these words sink deep into your spirit. What you have received today is far more than ordinary encouragement. It is a sacred invitation to step into what God has already prepared. Heaven has spoken, and something within you has awakened. You were never created to repeat cycles of limitation. You were chosen to end them. You are called to become the one in your family who walks in God's abundance, carries His vision, and demonstrates that every promise He makes will come to pass. Anointed one, the divine transfer has already begun. You are standing in your Kairos season, the exact moment heaven appointed for your breakthrough. Every delay served a purpose. Every closed door shielded you from what was not meant for you. God's storehouse is overflowing. His authority remains unshaken. And the future He designed for you is already unfolding before your eyes. You are no longer living with a mindset shaped only by survival. You have been positioned to walk with confidence, purpose, and spiritual authority. From this day forward, let your quietness reflect wisdom. Let every word you speak carry intention and faith. Move with calm assurance. Not because you hesitate, but because you know who walks beside you. You are no longer chasing significance. You have become part of the fulfillment of God's greater plan. You are the answer to prayers that generations before you lifted to heaven. Many long to experience the freedom you are now stepping into. When challenges increase, emotions become intense, or people begin distancing themselves. Do not be discouraged. Trust what God is doing. Your life is carrying a greater measure of His presence, and the purpose within you can no longer remain hidden. Chosen one, continue moving forward with unwavering courage. What was once concealed is now being brought into the light. The provision, the influence, and the lasting legacy God promised are no longer distant hopes, they are becoming your reality. If these words resonate with your spirit, declare your faith by commenting, "I receive it." Subscribe. Share this message with someone who needs encouragement. And remember this truth: the divine transfer has already begun. The appointed time has arrived, and the next chapter starts with you.